Wants to be happy, but our next guest says the harsh truth is that happiness is only an elusive thing. That is, of course, unless you figure out how to capture it with a little bit of humor. The author of Live Right and Find Happiness, although yours much faster, is a collection of original essays written by the very funny New York Times bestseller. He's also a Pulitzer Prize winning humorist, and we're joined today here on CT Style by the very funny Dave Barry. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, you're going to be here in New Haven tonight. You're from Miami, so you got to get used to the cold weather up here in the Northeast.
What is going on up here? You can all come on down. Come to Florida. It's nice and sunny. Yes, there's some gunfire, but other than that, it's beautiful.
Not too bad. It's nice otherwise. Now, the book is very funny. It's sort of a compilation of all these essays that you wrote. And at first, I wasn't sure if they would quite sort of all come together, but they do all come together and make sense at the end of the day, right?
Wait, you actually thought they made sense? I'm so happy.
There's a first.
Yeah. Well, they're sort of semi-random, but they're all meant to be funny. I mean, that's my goal anyway.
Okay, now let's talk about some of your wisdom that you have for some of the readers. You talk about your daughter getting her learner's permit and also drivers in Florida in general, which should it's a funny story.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever driven in Miami, but when I first got there, I thought, nobody knows the law here. I now realize everybody in Miami is driving according to the law of his or her individual country of origin. So we have a lot of different driving styles going on. And my daughter, she's 15, and so the state of Florida thinks she is qualified to have a learner's permit to drive there. Mm-hmm. And my point is, don't take that too seriously, because the state of Florida thinks everyone is qualified to drive. We have, and I no disrespect to senior citizens, I myself am a senior citizen, but we have people driving in South Florida. I call it the seeing eye wife system, where the man drives because he's always driven, right, but he no longer can really see. So his wife does the seeing. She's sitting next to him, and she's going, "Harry, the arrow is green. It's green. Go. No, stop. It's."
She's like
I have ridden
the
in
backseat
cars
driver
with people. Yeah, not even backseat. She's in the front, fortunately. But I have ridden in the backseat of cars being driven by that system. So I've tried to explain to my daughter that it's not just because Florida thinks you're ready to go. I don't necessarily think that.
That's funny. And then also you talk about everything that you know about home ownership, and it sort of relates to Johnny Carson.
Yeah, the first time I was ever on TV, I was on TV. It was The Tonight Show. It was like I won the lottery. I was promoting a home, a parody of a do-it-yourself book. And Johnny Carson, after our interview was over, turned to me and said, "You can't do it yourself." And so I write a little essay there about home ownership, where I just talk about these Home Depot ads where they show this couple that clearly they don't know anything, and they're 1 minute they're looking at tiles in Home Depot. The next minute, there's 1 second shot of them wearing goggles and screwing a screwdriver. And then the next scene, they have a whole new kitchen. I'm thinking, no, that's not really going to happen. It's not going to happen that way. So I proposed a store called Reality-Based Hardware, where if you wanted to do something yourself, you would go into my store, Reality-Based Hardware, and our trained employees would try to talk you out of it. No, you can't do that yourself. Hire somebody with a truck to do that for you.
Now, does this relate to your quote-unquote the pretend method when it comes to your household?
Yeah, I'm talking about how I handle problems in our household. Like, my wife and I have divided things up. She handles like anything involving human relationships, food, clothing, things like that. Mm-hmm. I handle removal of lizards from the house. In South Florida, where I live, you will wake up and find lizards all over the place. So they're in the house, sometimes on the ceiling, looking down at you.
That's a little creepy.
And so it's my job as the guy to get rid of the lizard, and you can't catch them. It's not possible. So I came up with the pretend method, where I pretend to catch the lizard and throw it out the door. May make a lot of sound effects as if I have in fact caught the lizard.
It's kind of like every guy.
Doesn't work.
Right. It's kind of like every guy that we just pretend to do everything.
It's like when your car breaks down and you open the hood and look there, and you have no idea what anything is there under the hood. But you give it a look because you're a guy, and that's what guys do.
All right, Dave, thanks so much again. The name of the book is Live Right and Find Happiness. Dave, thanks so much for joining us here today on CT Style. Enjoy your night tonight here in New Haven, and hopefully you get back to Miami to heat up a little bit because it is too darn cold here, Dave. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.